Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so this is going to be my tier list. There are more units, don't worry. But I'm going to just throw some of these units around because I was putting it together, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw the C and F tier. I don't have a D tier just because I don't really know why. But these are basically units that are just absolutely unusable, or some of them I just haven't really used because why would you even use them in general? Like, they're just kind of weird units. So like I threw Green Demon Amelia down here because he has actually zero use. Fraudren is down here as well. Unless he's completely whaled out, he is completely useless. And even when he's completely whaled out, he is basically completely useless because you're not out CCing an Escador, even with attack crit gear. So yeah, and then C tier obviously, or C tier obviously slightly better, but like not really valuable in PvP. I don't have Mon Speed leveled up. I know that's one. I've never used this Slater, so he could be good. Yeah. So obviously, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna move some of these units up because some of them are a bit better. So with the recent King team and whatnot, I'm gonna be moving Keo up just a little bit because I think he's a very, very good unit. No lie. The Ignite meta is absolutely disgusting. Zeldris is there because, you know, if you use his commandment, you can just remove buffs just like that. And also, I think he'd be very good with the new Meliodas that dropped, which I will be ranking him as well. Simply because you can move a card, you remove all the ignites if you're facing an ignite unit. You also have two single target cards, that way you can get his buffs up. So I think he's a very solid unit. Obviously I haven't tested him or anything, but and then Athena is probably not A tier. I don't know why I put her in A tier, but she could definitely be usable, especially in the back. Like if you kill a unit, like let's say you're facing one of those suicide teams, well, you just run Athena in the back and you just take away their ultimate gauge, because I'm pretty sure it kills. They get their ultimate gauge, and then you would take away their ultimate gauge. I hope that's how it works, and if it's not, well, then she's actually not as good as I thought. But I obviously haven't used her in quite a while in there. So Twigo is still an 8-star unit because, you know, Purgatory Bond team's absolutely gross. They still can slap cheeks if you underestimate them. Rugal, because his Pierce card is absolutely insane. He has attack related stat down, so if he like breaks his shield, attack stats down King, then King is basically just dead in the water. Ludo is still a very good link, and if you out CC, it's still very good, but that's why he's down to A tier. He used to be SS, and now he's just down to A. Ram is just a really good support unit, you know, unknown team, same thing. And then Green Esteros is just a very annoying taunt unit. Like, without him, the entire taunt team just wouldn't exist because they wouldn't have immunity, and that's the main thing that they really want. So, yeah, he's a very annoying unit. And then this, they're kind of good. I honestly want to throw King down to the C, but him on the Fest Gother team is actually pretty good, I won't lie. I still have yet to do a Keo team with Jim Hooper. I kind of want to do that. Eskin with his Holy Relic is actually insane, so I'm going to leave him there. MK2 is really good. Like, she still does work. She still does quite a bit of damage if she's on the crit team. Glock, his Cleanse and his Blockade card is really toxic and annoying. I've seen it in some pretty cool teams. Death Pierce has shit CC. That's why he's down here. And yeah, let's rock and roll. Lost Vein Meliodas. I think he is an A tier unit, simply because if you do get your ultimate, yes, you do wipe. But other than that, I think he is essentially useless. His cards will do 0 damage unless you have max Gother passive and you get that rank 3 AoE, and then it kind of does something if you're facing all green units. He is just fallen off quite a bit because what they usually do is have him in the back line, and then he comes out, he gets, you know, his cards or whatever, and then you don't have Death Pierce in the back because he desperately needs Death Pierce for him to actually be able to do damage. So, and then I'm gonna be testing the Roxys, or not testing, ranking the Roxys. Honestly, I think Red Roxy is, with her Holy Relic, by the way, is like low A tier because of how toxic she is on the unknown team. Like, the only team I lost against was, no, I didn't even lose. No, I did. Never mind. I thought I came back, but I didn't. But I only lost against an unknown, or a full stance team in the next video coming out. So yeah, that was an annoying game. But yeah, she's really good. Goddess Liz, like I see her coming back, especially with the new Meliodas and him having Amplify and Pierce. So, but as of right now, I haven't actually used her in PvP, so I don't know how good she is against it. But I still think she's a solid A tier unit, like because Fesgothar has really bumped her down. Purgatory Bond destroys her shield. King destroys her shield really well. Margaret destroys her shield very well. So I just think that she's only an A tier unit as of right now. But as time goes on, I could definitely see her creeping back up into S tier. I don't think she'll ever be SS tier anymore. So because, you know, if you just run the new melee with Fesgothar, then you can't do anything because you can't even stun. So yeah. Red Lilia, one of my favorite units in the entire game. I might be a little bit biased because I have her Holy Relic. She's like almost 100% maxed out. I think she's an S tier unit. I think she is. I one-turn King teams, I one-turn Bond teams, I one-turn the One teams, even though that's not really that big of a deal, and I also one-turn Assault Melee teams. I have not, and this is on global by the way, so I haven't faced any of the Dark Meliodas ones or whatever, but I genuinely love this unit, along with the Christmas one as well. The Christmas one is 100% better. I'm not gonna lie, she is much better because her AoE card is so much better than this one's AoE card because it doesn't have the dissolve, so it doesn't apply an extra debuff. Because she works off debuffs with her relic. But the red one's lifesteal card is actually insane for the OC team because you can just slowly whittle them down with explosion or corrosion and what other debuff would there be on that team? I actually think that might be the only debuffs, but anyways, it's very toxic and you lifesteal almost your entire HP back just by using one lifesteal card. So it's very nice and very toxic. Also, again, I said I am biased, so don't sue me. That's my favorite team. I'm gonna put them up there. I highly recommend getting that relic, by the way. One of the best relics in the entire game. Sorrio has fallen off so much. I think he's a low A tier unit. His cards deal like no damage unless he's on the crit team, which you can't even run him realistically on the crit team because, you know, OG Ludo is an angel as well. So I mean, I guess if you use Fesgothar, but you don't get as much of the boost unless you use a bunch of cards. So I don't really know. He just doesn't hit the same as when he used to. Like 400k AoE, he was like, oh my god, and now it's like, oh, only 400k AoE, that didn't kill anybody. So yeah, like everybody's at like 240,000 HP nowadays. Carmilla, I still think he's a really good unit, probably among the S tier. Like he's on the full stance team, he's on the full Archangel team. He's an amazing sublink. Yeah, like you guys have probably faced him. He's an absolute menace when he gets an ult rush with the Margaret team. Green Roxy, I think she is slightly below Roxy in terms because, like, yes, she can deal more damage by herself, but run on the OC team, I just don't think she's as good as the red one. But on the Kyo team, if you have Kyo, I think she is much better than the red one because you already get max Zeldris passive, because I always run Zeldris in the back, by the way. You already get max like stacks of that just by like spawning in for those first times, so then you don't really need another debuff. So if you run it like that, then I could definitely see Green Roxy being ahead. But like they're basically they're basically interchangeable. I'm not gonna lie. They're both very good with their relic though. Highly recommend it. Massive CC, high, like top 3 CC in the game. I can't remember exactly, so that's why I'm saying top 3. The one, I don't think he's SS anymore. I genuinely don't. Like, but the thing is with the new melee, I have to take that into consideration, and he's a very good unit for it because he definitely does deal massive damage. You can one-turn other melee teams if you just use melee, Green Gothar, and Escador. But at the same time, he realistically doesn't fit in any meta team anymore because, I mean, Kyo Ignite King team, you know, that's an absolutely insane one. He doesn't work with Kyo that well because, you know, he's double human unless you use Fesgothar, but even then it just doesn't really work. I think, but his ultimate is so good. I genuinely just kind of feel like he's kind of down to S tier. Like, he's still great obviously, but like he's just not the pinnacle of power as what he once was. Because whenever I see Escanor nowadays, like the only toxic thing back in the day was his revive. Like I could always kill him one time, but always getting that second kill before he became immune and just regen his full HP was just super hard to do, especially before SA5, SA6, level 90, and all these huge power creep units. So I definitely think he's in S tier. I don't even know why Dairy Area is down here, but I guess I can rank her real quick. Honestly, I think she's like a B tier unit. You know, she has a decent taunt. Decent, only lasts for one turn, but she has a really good passive where if you tech 3 times, I believe it is, then you get ult gauge shield, which is pretty darn good, basically like green Drolls, but you have to be attacked, so not as good as Droll. And then she also has buff removal, which can come in quite handy nowadays, but yeah, just a pretty decent overall unit. Assault melee. The thing is, Assault Melee can be the best unit in the game or the worst unit in the game, depending on who you're playing. If you play an absolute dingus and they just go all in, they think they can just one-shot your entire team, like I always end up having to try to do, and then I always fail every single time. If you face me, you're probably going to win with Assault Melee. I'm garbage at facing Assault Melee teams. I'm always like, yeah, I can kill that guy, and then he has like 17 buffs, and I'm like, oh. Alright, yeah. So, like, he could definitely be S. I don't think he's SS tier, unfortunately. I'm sorry, all you Assault Melee Sims. There's like 30 million of you people for some reason. But I just don't think he's as good as he was. Like, Sigurd definitely makes him, like, top tier. So, I mean, I guess with Sigurd, if you just say that right off the bat and you just throw him up there and you throw Sigurd in an A, because he only works in the Assault Melee team, that's why he's only an A tier, then I guess I would do that. You know, I could see that. Also, Zeldris is in the S tier, by the way, just because the Ignite team is one of the best teams and most rampantly used teams, so that's why I'm putting him in S tier. It would only make sense. So I guess I could do this. You could also see this, but either way, if you have some bias towards Assault Melee, I could definitely see you putting him up here. So yeah, Merlin, I still think is one of the best fests in the game. Like, I still think she's genuinely super toxic, especially with her Amelia team combo. You know, being able to make so you can't heal unless you just straight up use a Margaret cleanse card. Her single target still does mad unga bunga damage, and the fact that she can't die in one tap, like from the new melee or whatever, is actually insane. Like, she has to be attacked 3 times. It's really annoying to deal with because it's basically like having an extra revive, because you cannot like 2-tap her like how you can with most units with like Escanor or Assault Melee or stuff. So yeah, very, very good unit. Highly suggest you max her out. Oh, and she's also really good for Guild Wars or Guild Boss. Granted, this is only PvP. I never actually specified that, but I assume by how I'm tiering it, you guys kind of understand that this is PvP. So yeah, Amelia, I think she's still a very solid unit. I'm going to put her up in S tier because if you get her ult, she basically wipes the entire field still. You have 2-ish cards and you're fine. She's a very toxic control team. Miss Roseanne Grand Cross. Whenever I see you tweet that team out on Twitter, I literally have to like vomit because it's gross. But I still play it every once in a while just because it's like, damn, I haven't had a win in like 7 years, bro. Let me use the unknown team. But nowadays I actually just use my Lilia team because it's so much more fun and I have more CC with it. So yeah. We have Chandler. Chandler's a very good unit. I don't really like the unit personally. It's very like I can never actually get it right. I always end up like using the card first. I think he's top of A tier, low S tier. I just don't think he's as meta as he once was, because I mean, if you just one-shot him and he's dead, it's not that hard to one-shot a Chandler. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, like I don't know. I just, whenever I use the disable card, I always use a turn too early, and I'm just kind of an idiot with it. So I've just never had the best experience with the Chandler. But I have seen some people, like some of my viewers, Godspeed for one example, got like top 100 with that team, I believe, like Assault Melee Chandler, unless he was using a different team and I'm just stupid. But Red Gother, I think, has fallen so much. He used to be SS, but now he's down to A in my opinion. But like, I take into consideration that you can just attack shield literally like almost any unit in the field, so maybe he's just S tier. but like, who genuinely is like, oh, I'm gonna run red Gother over green Gother? No, it's usually, oh, I don't have green Gother, so I'm gonna run red Gother. That's usually how it goes, like realistically, unless you're using like the unknown team, of course. But like the attack ceiling is obviously very nice, but it's only, I don't know, man. It's very hard to like bring up because these PvP tier lists, there's so many different comps, there's so many things you could do, but then there'll be that one guy that's like, but I run Glocks and I never run into red Gother, so he's garbage, or I always get attack sealed every game and I hate this game. Like there's just so many different variants in this game, so I'm just going to put him low S tier, definitely not towards SS tier because I never really see him, and every time I see him I'm like, oh thank god it's not green Gother, because then his one never crits. So Purgatory Bond is probably falling off. I can't lie. I think he's high S tier still. He's still an absolute menace at 6 out of 6. His attack cards still do absolutely tremendous damage, and especially with his Holy Relic, he can, you know, still come back to an extent if you kill off his entire team. So, yeah, I still think he's a pretty solid unit. Arthur, he's an A tier unit. Like with this Holy Relic, maybe, but I've never actually tested with this Holy Relic, so take that into mind. I've never actually used it. I know that it's really good because, you know, if you get below 20% HP, you go back up to max HP one time per match. So that could be very, very annoying, but it's just like, I don't know. I've never. He is toxic, but I don't think he's as toxic as he once was with the full like HP bufferoo 10 million HP bond teams. I don't know. Blue Lost Man, oh god, he is such a mid unit. I hate this unit so much. Like, unless he's 6'6", he is one of the worst units in the game. I'm not gonna lie, he's absolute dog water. Summer Merlin. Summer Merlin, in my opinion, is not SS, but I think is a S tier unit. Simply because like the attack seal is so annoying. Like every time I use Summer Merlin, I get one card every 3 turns, and then every time I face a Summer Merlin, they get like 7 cards every turn. Looking at Mr. Chef from Roseanne's Discord, I faced him a few times, and he just always got the attack seal. But thankfully, since I use the unknown team or the OC team, I have like 17 different debuff cards, and I still kill because he's garbage at the game. Anyway. Margaret. I think Margaret's still an S tier unit because her cleanse is still super, super toxic. And yeah, like she still does good damage. Her ultimate at 6 out of 6 disables all skill effects for 3 turns. Maybe. I'm really hoping to 6/6 her or Cusack on the next banner. Which, by the way, guys, the new melee is coming on January 6th. So don't comment that shitty question. Like, just look it up. I mean, I don't know. It's so annoying. Every single video is like, when is the new Dark Valley Onish coming out? I'm just like, bro, it's January 6th. Just look it up in the goddamn patch notes. So, yeah. Cusack, I think, is still a very good unit. I always underrate his damage. I'm not going to lie. I think he's right up there with the 1. Like, he still does nutty damage. Like, I think he honestly, like, if Cusack went against a Bond team and Escanor went against a regular team, I think Cusack would wipe that team before the 1 wipes the other team. Genuinely. Unless it's like the crit team, then that's kind of an unfair comparison, because then Escanor would probably out DPS, yes, but yeah, I think Cusack is a very good unit. Keeps Bond under control, keeps Margaret under control too, I mean, not Merlin. And still does really good against King. I haven't actually used Cusack that much against the new Dark Melee, but I assume he would still do pretty good. He would also probably pair with the Melee pretty well, since he does have 2 single targets. I have tested that, and I genuinely do like that team. So yeah, Ragnarok Diane, she's very hot. She removes buffs and debuffs. She's going right there, no exceptions. Leave me alone. Brunhild, honestly, she's a very low B tier unit. She still does really good damage, but since her passive doesn't proc in PvP and she doesn't have a passive, which is such a shame. They need to fix that where they just give them a random passive, like something to like make them somewhat useful in PvP. Not just slap a Holy Relic on them and say, oh, hey, by the way, we're adding your passive into PvP, Mr. Zaratos. But, yeah, she does damage. She does damage. Festival Gother, I think, is probably either low S tier or low SS tier or high S tier. Like being able to disable rank ups or shields, stuns, rank 2 cards is actually insane, because then you hinder King so much. You don't really hinder the assault, the new melee, that much, because he can still do like 400,000 damage to the rank 1 anyways. But I think that he's still a very good unit. I kind of actually like him. Like, obviously, unless he's 6 out of 6, his ult is kind of dog water and just should never ever be used over like a regular dissolve card. It's still worth, in my opinion, to just have him on the field, because he gives a Walmart version of Green Gother passive, but still can definitely help you out and make you deal a lot of damage. And now we get to Terry. Terry is so goddamn annoying. Oh my god, I hate this unit. He's going to be in S tier, probably middle of S tier. He's right next to Carmilla. He is so annoying. Like, if you get taunts on this man, it's just like, bro, I hate you. Like, I genuinely just hate fighting you. Like, please stop. And now, obviously, you know, Fest King. I don't think I've done a tier list with Fest King on it, but obviously, you know, you get that tier 3, that double tier 3 turn 1. It's over. There's nothing the opponent can do. Even with the new Dark Melee, if you get the double rank 3 first turn and you go first, you just destroy that man's career. Doesn't matter. Literally the worst thing. I wish they would change it to where you can't get the same card. Like, you should just, you know, only get one of the same card. You shouldn't be able to get that merge. Like, that just shouldn't be allowed. But no, they won't do that. It's really stupid, but whatever. But yeah, Fest King is still really good. But I'm not gonna lie, I think the best melee, the thing is, this is a go first meta. If I go first against that Meliodas with my Lilia team, I will most likely win. I will most likely one-shot him. If he goes first with his melee, he will most likely win, because he gets the extra buffs. He'll most likely one-shot either my Kyo or my Lilia. Maybe not Lilia if you have Ignite stacks, but he won't have Ignite stacks on him, so maybe he could. Or if he goes first against King and King doesn't have that shield, then he is definitely dead. So it's kind of like a go first meta. If this melee goes first, he is the best unit in the game. If that King goes first, he drops down and he is the best unit in the game. Merlin does not need to go first, because she just can't die first turn. Granted, she will do less damage, but she is still very toxic, and she has the unknown team. You know, she can freeze your entire team and stuff. So yeah. So that is the tier list. Hopefully it's, oh my god, it's still 22 minutes long. Oh my lord. And I was thinking of ranking all of these units on camera. Oh my god. But anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Sorry it took so long. Jesus Christ. Let me know down below if anything is like super off. I mean, I tried to like give my best reasoning as to why they're there. Not as many units in SS tier, because I think that is a class of absolute meta units that just absolutely slap cheeks. And I mean, the only other one that you could probably put in SS would be Zeldris, because he is one of the best used backline units of all time. And we were all wrong about him when he dropped, just like Kusai. Like, we were all significantly wrong. Like, yes, Zeldris did a lot of damage, but most people are just like, oh, he's a meh unit. But his debuffs and his passive is actually top tier. So let me know down below what you guys think. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Take care, peace out, and peace.